All right, welcome to episode 25 of Stream Roulette. I'm Daniel Towns in Sydney, joined by Steph Broadbridge in Queensland and Luke Heggie in Old Pattery. How are you both?
Hello.
Welcome to episode 25 this week. What did we watch, Steph?
$1 Million Beach House at Heggie's request.
Yes.
So let's find out what he thought about it. Let's go. All right, welcome back to that episode. Luke Heggie, how you going, mate? Welcome to the show, Steph. How are you?
Yes, I'm having a great time in Queensland.
Awesome. How do you feel? This is our first guest. Luke Heggie. Pretty exciting. But there's no pressure. I kind of wish we could have been together to do it. But, let's have some fun. Let's talk about a shit show. Like, I'm glad we got such a bad show.
It's terrible.
But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. How long have you been in Paris for?
Only a few days. I went to the UK last week for a few days. Then been here for a couple. Pretty good. Heading south in a couple of days as well.
Doing gigs in the UK?
Absolutely not. Doing nothing.
No, just travelling with the family and taking a break.
Yeah, kids are away, so.
Oh, where are they?
Flying solo. They're down south of France with their grandparents. Ooh. So I'm just cruising around Paris. It's pretty good.
Yeah, sounds good.
Pretty good. Yeah, it's great.
Pretty good.
Have you been to Paris, Daniel?
Yes, I have. I've been twice.
Ooh.
Have you been, Steph?
No, it sounds fancy.
I remember you talking about it, Towns.
Where
did you
eat
primarily when you went to Paris?
The sights are fantastic, obviously, the landmarks and the things, the tourist things, but I don't know. I guess it's a city like London in that, if you lived there and you knew the attitude and you had the attitude, you'd be all right. But as an outsider, you got to be on your toes. People are trying to rip you off. Everyone's in a rush. It's beautiful, beautiful city. But I still remember someone came up to me one time. I was with my girlfriend and they tied some fucking rope bracelet around both of our wrists. And before I knew it, I was handing over 20 euros because it was easier to just give him the money than argue that I didn't want it, And then I've had the camera scam when they come up to you and give you that note in English kind of thing. Yeah, and also everywhere kind of just smells like piss, especially the tourist areas. It really does.
Yeah.
Put it this way, the last time I went to places that actually I think you recommended them. And we went to we went to that Marais or whatever it's called. And damn it, I was hoping you'd correct me on how
No, not correcting you.
Marais, and Left Bank and the more local places, and that was a lot better than your Eiffel Towers and your Louvres and all that kind of shit. Yeah.
But where did you end up eating? Mostly while you were here. Yes.
I gotta say, the thing I found hard over there is it's either really high end and then super expensive, or it's just absolute garbage. But that is still quite expensively priced.
Right.
What about you? I mean, I suppose you have home cooking, right?
Well, yeah, but I remember you talking about being here, and you just went to McDonald's.
Oh man, and that was on Jen's birthday. At her request. It was at her request. But it's a hard place to find something good to eat if you don't have a fortune.
It's really not.
Sorry,
There's
France.
No, because French food is maybe not in France, but in Paris definitely. Because
Paris
if you're
famously in
if
France.
you're in tourist areas, it's like Darling Harbour. It's like City Extra and all that kind of shit. So you think, I'm going to get this amazing. When I stayed. We stayed in an Airbnb and we stayed in a really good, what are they called there? The entrapments or whatever they're called, Heggie? the 18
Not
on
the projects.
No, the 8 on whatever they are on a map to 33 or however many different areas.
Oh, the arrondissement.
That's
the
it.
Suburbs.
Yeah, the thing that starts with an E, those things. Like we stayed in a kind of cool, trendy one of those, and there was a bakery down the road that had been open since like 1300 and something, and had been traditional recipes, and we started going to places like that, and that was cool. Like we were going, like Parisian supermarkets. That was fun.
Yeah.
Like, but I think that is a lot more enjoyable than the tourist experience there. Because the tourist experience there, you're with tourists. The first time I went, I got such a good deal on a hotel at the Novotel. It was like 500 metres from the Eiffel Tower. I'm like, as a first timer, that's somewhere you want to go, right? And I'm like, this is a great price. And then one day I got back from whatever I've been doing, and I hopped in a lift, and there was this American tourist with his wife, and I knew they were American before they even started talking, and he was like, how's your day? And I'm like, yeah, fine. He's like, yeah, we got mugged. They took everything, And I said, well, no offense, man. I said, but it's because you look like a tourist. I said, you're wearing sandals, you got on like your Hawaiian shirt and your big American hat.
Bum bag.
I said, I said I dress neutrally, and if I want to check a map or something, I go into a cafe and order a coffee. I said, I don't stand on a street corner with a massive map out, looking like a fucking outsider and an easy target who doesn't know what they're doing. I wasn't saying he was asking for it, but,
Well, sounds like
there's things you can do to avoid danger sometimes.
Well, it's not.
I got tricked in Brisbane with accommodation.
Really? What do you mean?
Yeah, well, mentioning the Novotel, I stayed at a place called Ridge that had the same font as Ridges, but was not Ridges.
Oh, really? Oh, that's like
Nice.
It's called Ridge. It was a lot cheaper than Ridges, but I thought it was Ridges, and it was not Ridges. It had a lot of cockroaches.
Well, you kind of got to respect.
Yeah, that S was doing a lot of the heavy lifting.
You got to respect the hustle there.
I don't.
I kind of do.
Yeah, I like that.
Like
I
people
think
that
it's
fall
funny.
for it, like
You like it?
I like
Yeah.
Was it Ridge with an I?
Yeah, it was Ridge with an I.
Well, then that should have been
same
that's
font.
your first side, right? Because Ridges has a Y.
I mean, I'm going on 30-minute sleep at the moment. Give me a break.
Yeah, but like I love the fact that in the UK, like I don't know if it's the whole country, but especially around London, there's so many places that have it's called like Kennedy fried chicken or Carl's fried chicken, like but Carl's with a K or whatever, and the colour in there is like red and white, but. And it's decent chicken, like it's good, but like if you stumble out of somewhere like drunk, or I don't know, whatever time the pub's closed there now, and you see one of those on a corner, you're like, yeah, fuck it, why not? Let's go. That's KFC, let's do it, and you just go in on the brand.
Well, it's a bonus, I would think, if you're not getting KFC.
Yeah.
That's
I don't think KFC is the same as Ridges.
No, but that was,
That's positive scam.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Steph
like-
was more her error not noticing the different letter.
I mean, the price should have given it away, to be honest.
What
but
was the price per night?
Like $120.
Yeah, that should have been a sign for a Ridges. But then even Ridges...
I don't know. I don't know how much it costs to live in Brisbane, so I just assumed that it was cheaper because it's Brisbane.
So you're not in Brisbane though, are you? You're in the Gold Coast.
I'm in the Gold
Yeah,
Coast.
right,
You
nice
two
one.
sound like anything that's not Sydney's the third world so far.
What's that?
You two both sound like anything that's not Sydney is just the third world.
Mate, I've
Everyone's
known
getting
you a
mugged.
long
The food
time. Don't
sucks.
try and pretend you're the positive one. Like chip
talking
in with
about the
your
show
little
yet.
chip-ins and do your thing, but let's not play games here, all right? We're here.
No,
and-
Queensland's been good. I'm enjoying
yeah,
it. Yeah.
that's good. You had it.
It's real
You
tough.
done any gigs yet?
Yeah, they're terrible. I'm doing so bad.
Oh, they're
but I'm
not
learning
terrible,
heaps.
but they're different. They're hard.
I'm terrible.
What are you doing? What are you doing there?
My best.
No, like I mean, are you emceeing? Are you emceeing? Are you hosting? What are you? Well, that's the same thing. But are you doing a spot? Like,
Feature headline.
okay, yeah, right. Yeah, look, you just got to, like Queensland, you just got to put your head down and go. Like Queensland, everywhere is, to me, it's a suburban audience, and this definitely isn't an insult, but they're the kind of places where, like in Sydney, like once you go out to like a Campbelltown or like a Liverpool or whatever, like if you're good, they fucking love you. But if you're shit, they'll tell you. They won't give. They don't give you that inner city politeness of just waiting you out and going, "No, at least they're trying. Oh, I appreciate the effort." Like, you know what I mean?
I think some of those, sometimes the Gold Coast gigs, that doesn't apply. It's just
I hope not.
So bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're just so bad. It's nothing you can do.
I basically live on Southern Fried Chicken burgers when I'm up there doing that run.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just because I eat at the pub because I go in early, right, with Josh, whoever or whoever. And it's like, well, now I'm going to have dinner. All right, what's on the menu? That'll do. That won't make me feel sick before we start.
Quite
what
a delicate
happened,
constitution, don't you?
Sorry?
What happened, Steph? I just saw a look of horror on your face.
Nah, I'm good. I'm just like...
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to say, oh, no, I'm...
A week into my first, proper gig tour outside of Sydney, and I'm learning hard.
That's better than what I thought, because I thought she was going to say that she didn't fucking hit record on the audio or something. So, no, like, being on the road's good.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. Should we talk about the show?
Yes. We're not that deep, but yeah, all right. Okay, let's go. Let's talk about that piece of shit. What was it called? $1 Million Crap Fuck?
Yeah, that's it. Should I just read the blurb before we get started?
I can do this one. Another generic real estate. Another generic real estate show hosted by some fuckwit that no one really needs to watch.
Yeah.
Oh no, what is it?
Was that the one off IMDb? No. So it's $1 Million Beach House follows 5 real estate agents as they handle multi-million-dollar properties in the Hamptons during the region's top-selling season from Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And look, I gotta say, like,
suck already.
Sorry, Lou?
Real estate sucks, and people who talk about it suck. And celebrating middlemen sucks.
But honestly, I gotta say, like, I was interested to hear your opinion on this, but compared to some of the shit that I've seen, like, this was just generic and bland. Like, it wasn't even that bad. Like, honestly, I think we could have got so much more out of Heggie's involvement on a Selling Sunset or a Lux listing Sydney, like something that actually had...
Have you watched them?
Oh, well, Selling Sunset, Amanda watches it just sometimes to turn her brain off, and I hear it, and it's just, man, it's so... But there's full drama, but they're all Botox. They're all, like, $1 million. Like, one of them's married to an NFL player, and she's made an absolute fortune selling real estate. And the Lux listing Sydney one is sponsored by Ray White, and it's just some guy. He could be a jockey. He's about 4'5". Another one of them just got put on, like... Well, his wife has taken legal action against him for something. I don't want to say because I'm not 100% sure what it is. But like, they had like drama. This was just like, oh, okay, so we've got a bunch of good-looking people showing houses.
A bunch of good-looking people and Jimmy.
Yeah.
Who's Jimmy? Is he the meathead?
Yeah, he's the one that wasn't a good-looking person.
Is he the one? I don't know. Is he the one about to have
the
a baby?
one that looked like Gumby?
The
with
big
like
one with
the saggy skin, not the big one that used to model. The saggy-skinned one was Jimmy. Andrew was the ex-model.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
How many did you guys watch? I watched all of it.
For fuck's sake, Steph does this all the time, man. She does it all the time, and it's like, what are you doing? Why would you do that to yourself? I'm trying to.
I watched about 1.5, and then I flick through. I flick through like episodes 3 and 4 or something. That was enough.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I watched 2, and I did it before we recorded. And even after the first one, I was like, "What? I've seen enough of this to know it's not going to get any better, like based on their presentation style. But I'll give it another one because we've got Heggie on, and I don't want to waste his time. You know, I want to make it feel like I put in some effort on the show.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
So you had 54 minutes of my time. But
did you catch the bit where Noel changed his name.
Who's Noel?
No.
See, you missed out on some shit. So
I saw Noel.
Noel and Noel. I did.
Noel and Joel.
Yeah, I did see that. That was a bit.
So he changed his name from Noel, which it was initially, to his actual name, which is Noel, which is because his twin brother kind of called him out and said, "You've changed your name."
Yes, I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
classic.
nothing. It's not even memorable, is it?
It's so funny.
Like, it's not.
I love those. Yeah, it was funny.
What do you think?
Well, I love shows like this because, okay, so you watch the first episode and you're like, okay, all these people are crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then one of them out of the 5, who I would say is Noel, was even more crazy.
Isn't that a
and then all the
Christmas
rest of them, yeah, and then all the rest of them seem sane by comparison, and then you're like, you recalibrate what weird is, and then all of a sudden the normal ones, they become normal, and it's really interesting.
Oh man, I can't stand the whole thing. I didn't like any of them. None of them had any redeeming qualities at all. Some, like, it's just nauseating. It's a real indictment on how we celebrate middlemen too. Like, some pube on the soap tries to sell me something. He says, especially. I'll just say, look, I'm going to deal with the boss, thanks. Get out of my face, leave me alone. They say, I'm ecstatic, let's nip it in the butt, stuff like that. You're like, nah, man.
Yeah,
sorry.
there were some great words, weren't there? I liked how they pronounced pergola, which I think was a pagoda.
Pergola.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a chaise lounge, which I think is a chaise longue. I'm not. You speak French, Heggie. You can correct me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're talking about the land of aluminum, right?
But
who?
No, but that's not the American pronoun. That's just wrong.
But who takes a pre-existing language and goes, hey, this is pretty difficult, so we're going to dumb it down just a little bit more. Because that's what I feel like American English is. You know what I mean? Let's take the O's out of words, the U's out of words.
Far more phonetic.
Yeah, but if I'm spending $35 million on a house, I expect you to be able to pronounce the words properly.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
If your only job is to sell it to me.
I'd expect even more than that, I reckon.
Well, why was being good looking such an important quality? That's something I'd like to know.
That's just for the TV show, I think.
No, I know, but like that's a general thing in real estate. Like, most of them are like generally, like, I mean, you've had bits about it, Heggie, pop collars and fucking frost tip tear and whatever.
Because they think, I don't know, and obviously the public buying that, it's important to spend sign up for a lifetime of debt from someone who looks pretty.
Is it?
It seems to be where models go to retire as well, because there's not a lot of options for them.
Well, you know what? Interestingly, my first ever job was in real estate. It was quite funny. Great story. But the whole street was real estate agencies, or that section of the street was real estate agencies. But one of the old actors from Home and Away ended up in real estate.
Yeah.
Like, working in one of those.
That checks.
Oh, well, I thought I wouldn't do it, but I could, because you don't need any other skills other than having a personality, and you're not selling like cars need pushing. Like, if people are looking at houses that they want to buy, so they're going to buy something. So as long as you keep talking to the right people and being friendly, and eventually you're going to find a buyer.
Pursuit.
Like, I don't think we need it. There should be a website or an app that like just handles all the contract shit, like carsales.com.au.
There is.
There is. But
we
still have them.
There 100%
really?
is.
Like, it just feels like...
Even with them, you still got to employ extra middlemen to do all your contracts and stuff. They don't even do that.
Yeah.
They just
They don't do that. They just take you through the house. And list things that they can see.
This whole area, though, the Hamptons, you hear about all the time. They're like, whatever you want to do.
Show.
One of the quotes from the show was, whatever you want to do, the Hamptons has it for you. Oh, yeah? Well, I want to go to a library or a museum. No, 2 hours away. So, Hamptons, if everything you want to do is have pool parties and be a fuckhead, then it's got everything.
I'll tell you what, the Hamptons, I'll tell you one thing the Hamptons definitely does not have, and that's Snoopy or Prickly Pete.
What's Snoopy and Prickly Pete?
That's an episode of Seinfeld where George lied to...
Oh, did he end up driving out there or something?
Yeah, he lied to Susan's parents about, you know...
Yeah, and they made him drive.
Yeah, and he got all the way out there. He got all the way out there, and then finally he had to admit to him that there was that
one of them. On this show, one of them said, the quote, "Luxury is my thing." You know, I think you'll find that's everyone's thing.
No, of
So
course
what do
it
you mean?
is. Everyone lives
It's like
the
talking
best
to a
they
sex
can.
addict.
Everyone
Yeah.
tries to live the best they can with, you know, with whatever they've got.
And they've
going
also
on.
employed all these other middlemen as well. These women come in and do staging for the showings. The kind of dipshit spending $10 million on a house wants it to look all feng shui.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry about that,
Yeah,
guys.
well, it's just another waste of time of a show, really. Don't worry, Steph. No
Well-
one noticed you were missing. Like in the sense of,
Oh,
like
that's
we
so
didn't.
kind of you to
No,
say.
like in the sense of that we didn't notice that we didn't mention that you dropped out in your video and you were trying
No,
to
it's kept
fix it,
going,
and
like
we just
pros.
kept going like professionals, and then you just brought it up. But anyway, welcome back. No, I'm kidding. I know you don't know that, but like, because I was trying to call you, you're calling me. Like, I'm trying to add you, you're trying to, and it's like Steph joined, Steph left, Steph joined, Steph left. Like these are.
It's that third world Gold Coast internet, isn't it?
No, well, it would have got to the point where, like, say, if it went on for 7 minutes and she couldn't get back in, we would have had to explain what happened. But, like, I guess, yeah, we were both just trying to pat it out to you. Came back in, but you weren't to know that. But we
You've talked about it way longer than me now,
yeah,
just
no,
to
sorry,
be clear.
that's what I do. That's what I do. That's what I do. I think about stuff a lot and I bang on about it. How much?
My internet dropped out. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, right. How much
all right.
longer are you on the Gold Coast for?
I haven't started the run yet, so tonight until Thursday.
And what about you, Luke? How much longer are you in Paris for? Did
I'll
you
be
say?
back middle of August.
Middle of August. Oh yeah, right. Fuck,
I'm
that's,
doing
that's
nothing.
decent. We're just going to stroll
Yeah.
around.
Pretty much, yeah. It's not that hot. Like, people have been talking about how hot it's been. It hasn't been. Like, it's, you know, when you're a tourist and you walk around in a hot country, you get arse butter. I haven't
Yeah.
had that.
Oh well, it must be nice for you being there, like, because it's somewhere you've been so many times, so you know your way around and you know the lay of the land.
Yeah.
Like first times
cool.
are intimidating, second times you're like, oh, okay, I kind of know this place, and then you know once you've been there about 5 or 6 times or whatever, you just okay, now I know where to go. Now I know what to do.
I mean, the first time I don't know. I'm not looking around for McDonald's and shit first time anywhere. Or, you know,
Oh, really?
terrified of
Interestingly,
being mugged.
I will eat McDonald's anywhere new just
Yeah.
to see what it's like there.
Do you
The
think
same?
there are differences? It's exactly
There's
the same,
massive
isn't
differences, yeah, but they use local produce.
it? Massive. Okay.
So, of course, it tastes
Then-
different. Yeah, like I will tell
Massive.
you that Coca-Cola definitely tastes better in Fiji.
Okay. More
And,
sugar.
Yeah, it must have something to do with the sugar.
Yeah. Well, Western countries, it's all corn syrup, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know. I don't read it. I rarely drink it. I
I
have
think
it as
so.
I have the occasional can of Black Death at a gig as a rare
Yeah.
treat.
Yeah, right.
So
I haven't set foot in a McDonald's since I worked there when I was 16, 17.
oh, did you work at Macca's?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. What's
I've
the
been in
worst?
one for
What's the
3
worst
decades,
story
and
you
I
got?
won't.
What's the worst story you got?
What did you do at Macca's?
Oh, I was out the back. I went on the front counter for about 5 minutes and then got told to go back out the back.
Of course you
Didn't
did.
really have the demeanour for customer service at McDonald's. So I was just out flipping burgers, which I didn't mind. I just do my work. But I didn't like the it seems to have changed, fast food, but the militant attitude they had towards it was not for me. It was terrible. Did you work there, Steph?
Oh, yeah. I did
Yeah.
a year and a
Oh,
half.
you worked there as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we should fucking have done a McDonald's episode. What was the worst thing that the both of you saw happen, like food-wise, while you worked there?
Oh, it was pretty clean. It wasn't a
some-
roach pit or anything. There was no real problems with that.
No, I know that.
Someone
but
shat on the mirror.
But I mean, like, you know, people like
the
dropping
toilets.
food and like serving it up, or what happened? Someone
shat on the mirror in the toilets, and I had to clean it up.
you had to clean it.
Yeah, I was general duties, GDs.
Oh, so what? Were you a manager?
Nope, that's the lowest you can get.
Well, then that shouldn't have been
Yeah,
your
okay.
job. Sounds like you just didn't.
Yeah, the manager does it. Yeah, that's how. That's how delegating works.
No, because
Don't worry, guys. I got this.
well, I worked at a McDonald's in Blacktown that was like 100 metres up the road from a methadone clinic, and it was at the time when you could get free coffee refills. So they'd go get their methadone, and then they'd literally sit in the McDonald's car park all day getting free coffee refills. And like one time someone shot up in the bathroom, and like there was a needle on the floor, like there was blood everywhere. And I was, 15, and the manager came in and he's like, oh, hey, mate, do you reckon you could clean up that mess in the bathroom? And I went and had a look, and I just went back out and I said, man, that's not my job. I said, that's not my job description. I said, that's your job. That's like, yeah. I said, I'm here to make burgers, not expose myself to syringes. And, you know, and then 2 seconds later, he's in a hazmat suit and like serious, you know, those thick rubber gloves that you'd need a fucking axe to penetrate. Yeah.
Man, this is all different level. Mine was in Brisbane, of all places, and worst we got was like a couple of pickles on the ceiling or something.
Oh, yeah,
Throwing
but that's
shit on the
standard.
mirrors
Yeah,
and
so
shitting
many
up in the
ceiling
toilets.
pickles.
What? No
What's
one,
that?
but no one like doing shit to food or like anything like that.
What, employees? No.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Well, I
I'd
got to
drop
say,
the odd
like,
thing and just pick it up.
no one ever. The worst that ever happened for a customer, I would say, would be like, say you were cooking up your 9 cheeseburgers or your 4 Big Macs, and you accidentally dropped a tray on the floor, but they were still presentable because once they're at that final stage, they kind of stick together anyway. You kind of just straighten them up and you'll wrap them up and serve them. Like, you know,
Of course.
3-second rule, like that. But one time, there was 2 employees who worked there, and one of the employees went out and ordered a big breakfast for his breakfast on his meal break, whatever. And the guy that made it, he was a skateboarder and he'd fallen off a skateboard. He had a massive scab on his elbow. Anyway,
Skateboarders are disgusting.
anyway, he mashed the scab up in the scrambled eggs.
Was it his enemy?
No.
And so, no,
Was it an enemy?
wasn't even an enemy.
No. Sorry, this is the place you choose to eat when you go overseas, Daniel. Is that right?
No, I don't choose to go there, but I will always eat McDonald's once when I'm somewhere overseas because I want to see what it's like locally. It's like, it's ass.
Yeah, what do the scabs taste like locally?
No, they only,
The French
they only
scabs
do that
taste different to them.
employees.
You're like an explorer. Yeah.
No, I try and eat locally. I try and support the local industry.
Oh, man.
So do you reckon you
Yeah.
got to watch more of this show, Heggie?
Absolutely not. They had some... they're trying to introduce storylines and make it interesting, like fights and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
And
it
they had this
doesn't-
pool party.
Does not
and
have
they're
the
doing
drama
this-
of selling Sunset.
No?
Oh, fuck
I mean,
no.
I don't care.
No, you would
But
have
I-
hated
I
that.
don't-
You would hate that.
It's contrived drama anyway. But
Yeah,
they've
no,
also
I know.
got feel-good stories too, like those 2 simpletons, you know, the wide-eyed 2 blokes who were friends. They were friends from school or something. And
AJ and Andrew. Sorry, JD and Andrew.
it's one of my favourite things, just to see a
The
dumb
2
shit try
skateboarders.
and look earnest. They got their eyes are too close together and they exaggerate the thinking frown and stuff. They act like someone should look when they're some sort of philosopher. It's nauseating.
calculated.
And the one who's having having a baby, his wife's having a baby, the meathead one. There's like
Andrew?
a contrived photo of him kissing the pregnant belly. It's like a white horse fucking wedding sort of thing. It's gross.
He's so good. Those 2 are my favourites.
Man, you would have
And they're
hated.
having a-
You would have hated some of the other shows we've had to watch.
I'm sure.
Like, just,
Andrew, the big head guy, he's got a bobblehead of himself on his desk. Did you guys clock
Yeah, I
that?
clocked that. Yeah, I saw that.
I didn't see it. I wish I did. I got to the point, though, honestly, Heggie, where I enjoy the bad shows more. Like, bad shows are good.
You didn't like this?
Like, bad reality is good. Generic dramas.
This was bad reality.
Yeah, but it's not bad enough. Like, it's just generic reality.
What do you make of this, Steph? He said they're having a debate over whether he should get a push present for his wife, which
Yes.
is apparently a present you get when you're having a baby. And she also had the audacity to give birth during peak selling season in the Hamptons, no less. But
I know, and he was
He said-
providing for the family and doing his job. So as far as he was concerned,
Yeah.
that was his push present. What a man.
He did say in this conversation, he said his wife is carrying his son for him.
Oh, that's right. No, he said, well, she's carrying it for 9 months. And he's like, yeah, well, I was carrying it for 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think
He
of
also
that?
said he's grateful she's the vessel. Imagine saying that out loud these days. Pretty good.
Fucking, yeah. Well, how does that make you
They
feel,
were
Steph?
so funny. I loved them. I loved JD. He was wearing a backwards cap saying, "It's time for me to be a man," without any irony. And that fucking got me.
Yeah.
And there was another guy, I don't know if you guys clocked him as well. There was a socialite that was looking through the house who had a massive pocket square. Did you see him?
Yeah, I saw him. He was gross.
I went through a massive rabbit hole with him.
But he's just
Justin
another...
Ross Lee.
What?
you
Internet
find
rabbit
him?
hole? Like research
Yeah,
and
I
shit?
got obsessed with him because he just looks so smug. I'm like, I have to know more about this guy. He makes his own pocket squares, so that's why he had the pocket square.
Oh, he was foul. Was he the extra middleman looking through houses for
He
rich
was the
people?
one that they were taking through the house to potentially buy it, but he does not have enough money to buy the house. He went bankrupt in 2011.
Ah, okay.
Well, they more than
he
make their
wasn't
money back. Like, what did they say? There were like 2,500 agents in the Hamptons.
Yes.
Like, it's
Yes,
not that
yeah.
big an area, surely.
Yeah.
And 80%
I
of the
don't
people
know.
there, it's like a second home. Like,
No, this guy wasn't an agent. He was buying. He was a potential buyer.
Oh,
He was a client.
He wasn't like a broker's broker, like an extra middleman they chuck in looking for houses for
Nah.
rich people.
He was like one of their contacts because that's what they're bringing to the table is
Right.
they know lots of people, and he was one of the people they knew, but he doesn't have any money.
I like how they mention, like, basically if a TV show is shot in New York, like the Hamptons will get mentioned. Like, invariably at some episode or some point, like they'll end up going there or talking about it. You know what I mean? It just
Yeah, it's
seems
like
to
their
be
showcase area.
Well,
Looks
it's
foul to me.
yeah, but if there was a show about
Does
if
it?
there was a show about Sydney, no one would be like. Well, actually, they would, but the show would just be about Bondi or about
pretty much.
Yeah, but that
the
was
word
cool.
Bondi
I
in the
wouldn't have
title.
said no to some of those houses. They look nice.
Oh, but yeah, of course they did. They were $1 million fucking luxury listings, but like it was just
Yeah.
generic
Until you got
banter
to
and
meet your neighbours.
boring chit
Imagine
chat.
going to the pub. Terrible.
So in a dream
also-
world, all right, in a dream world, Heggie.
Well, the houses had a pub in it.
Yeah, well that's true. Yeah, they
Yeah,
all.
okay. But you
All
got
right.
to. What sort of people you get around?
You didn't need friends. You had everything yourself.
They don't. None of them have friends.
Yeah.
In a dream world, Heggie, where would you want to live and why?
I'd want to live in the unit I already live in, so I never have to move again.
Yeah.
I just want to own it, so I don't have to speak to any of these fucking ass hats for the rest of my life.
Okay. That's
Never, ever speak to a real estate agent.
That's valid.
Just sit there,
Okay.
and I don't have to move my fridge. That's it.
What about you, Steph?
I don't want to live anywhere.
Really? You got no preference on areas or?
I've just been lugging 2 weeks worth of clothes around, and like I resent owning anything. I just don't want any stuff. I just want me, and that's it.
Oh, I've got my
Oh.
travel down to a carry-on suitcase and a backpack.
Nice.
Rolling clothes. Best you'll ever. Best tip you'll ever get.
Oh, do you have a vacuum pack as well?
I
You
don't.
Vacuum seal
I'm
into
not that far into it because I roll well and I don't take much. I take the necessities. If I'm going for 7 days, I take 8 pairs of underwear and trust that I won't have an accident. You know?
I don't think the rolling works. I think it's bullshit. It's people are very sanctimonious about rolling clothes.
No, it definitely does. It saves space. It saves, definitely. Because I was the same. I was like, why would you roll? And then, like, just going away a lot, I wanted to stop having to go through fucking wait for my bag at customs, like on internationals. So I thought, I'm going to see if I can get this down, like, same shit with rolling, and I can. And, like, it fits so much better.
Shoving's the same as rolling. Still takes up the same space.
What's that?
Shoving's the same as rolling.
Shoving.
Shove it in, close it.
No, it's not. It's not. You can't, like, strategically layer things and fill up every gap and...
Yeah, righto.
Oh, whatever.
Put stuff in your shoes.
Whatever, mate.
I did enjoy on this show that woman who's in the office whose idea of feminism is showing that women can be just as greedy as men. It was...
Oh, I loved her. Peggy.
Peggy, was it?
I just love how Steph knows all these pointless details.
Molly.
No, pointless
I literally
details,
wrote, that's so funny you said that, because I literally...
I'm like, who?
I did my homework for the podcast.
No, I love that.
I literally wrote here, she is everything hack comedians say women are. She is terrible for feminism.
Oh, awful. Like, she's just as bad. But it's like she's trying to have this girl power angle to it as well.
Oh, God, it was so sandwiched in. It was like, I'm just doing it for the ladies. I'm like, no, you're doing it for yourself. That's not the same.
But if there's 2,500 agents selling in the Hamptons, how is that they are the most interesting ones that they got, and that's the best show they could make out of it? Because it wasn't small budget.
Yeah, they're the ones who agreed to be filmed. Like, I wouldn't put myself out there as a buyer, as a seller, whatever. You see their banker dads must be sitting there going,
no, I meant the agents.
TV, you fucking idiot.
I meant the agents to do it to boost their profile.
Well, the agents are all come from privilege as well. They're not dragging themselves out of the gutter, even though their fucking diction appears otherwise. They haven't sort of raise themselves up from lower classes, these people. They're bankers' kids as well.
Private school.
Their dads are white-collar criminals sitting at home going, why is my dickhead son on TV? I'm trying to lay low here. And there he is, the wanker. That happens all the time in reality TV.
Mispronouncing words.
Yeah. Noel and Joel, the twins.
Noel and Joel.
Noel and Joel, when he turned up, the model one, even though they're twins, and they're ping pong experts. Did you see this?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Like, for that exact moment, that's their whole lives have been, I went to, how Americans are so competitive with this sort of thing. The meathead's like, I won a competition on a cruise ship once, ping pong, so I'll be all right. And Noel's like, well, I think you're fine. I went to Junior Olympics, so I'll be all right. And they're just training for this exact TV reality moment.
Right. Well, this one time I went go-karting, right? And there was a ramp on the track, and everyone looked at me like, if he hits that, he is definitely going to flip it. And I hit it, and I flipped.
That's the way they talk.
What's that?
That's how they talk, just like that, with no irony.
That's still one of my favourite scenes in television history.
Oh, it's very good.
Like I was, you know that one of the IT guy one in the UK office, Steph, when that guy comes in and he's installing something on what's his name? His real name's Martin. Tim. He's installing something on Tim's computer, and he's like, "You ever been go-karting?" And he's like, "Yeah." And something happened. He's like, "Right, well, there's one time," and like he's just like, "Yeah," like it's very, very funny.
Yeah.
Shame you haven't seen it. Guess you had to be.
Sorry.
Anyway.
The other thing I hate about them is that, like, it's impossible to overstate how vacuous all these people are, but they hold their mouth after they say something, like just to add some sort of credence to it. It's like, I'm a good broker. And they just keep... They just stop after that. It's gross.
Do you think that's like an LA Hollywood thing, that they've been trained or they've learned to hold that pause long enough at the end to give the editor an edit point? Like,
I don't know. Do you think that's what it's come from? Because
honestly, because
that's
like
interesting.
editing, people like when people talk over people, like if you don't have separate tracks, or like when all that kind of stuff happens, it is hard, and especially ending things. Like if you know how that stuff works, and you go, all right, if I leave an extra second at the end on that ending, like.
But do you think that's where it's come from? That's
probably
actually born of that, because a lot of
filmed in one of the most vain, vacuous places.
But that's crept in Australia too. You see young, sort of, particularly women saying things like, at the end of a sentence. They'll just put on that. It's a bit Byron Bay-ish. Like, I got my new line of products. They've.
I think it's to add gravitas.
I did a gig last night, right? And when I got to the venue, I was downstairs, and I thought, oh no, fuck this, I'm getting the elevator. And there was a group of 3 people walking in front of me, and they were going up the stairs, and I just thought, oh wow, she sounds like a comedian that I know. And then I got upstairs, and it wasn't her, but then I heard her say to the person at the door, oh hi, I'm such and such's friend, apparently our names are on the door. But they spoke exactly the same. Like, it just blew my mind.
Yeah, great. I mean, I'd be interested to know if it's if that's come from just being born TV ready, like Americans are. Like, the way they talk is just preparing for being on camera. I don't know.
I think the pause is waiting for a claim, right? So they pause, and then you're supposed to go, oh, wow, that's incredible. And then when you don't, then they fill the silence. It's like when you bomb a joke, and then you got to fill the silence with something because you're expecting a laugh.
Yeah.
When you what, sorry?
Oh, yeah, sorry. So sometimes when you're not as good as you, Daniel, the gig doesn't go that well.
I fill the silence with silence.
Yeah. You got the ultimate.
Oh, man, nah.
I was actually...
Fuck that. I'm not up to there yet.
I had a gig the other night. I did the Tuesday night Best of the Factory one. That one, and I was just discussing you with someone. They were talking about you, and I mentioned that Eminem comparison that I'd mentioned to you before.
Is this Steph or me?
Yeah, no, yeah, like I mentioned it about you. I said I think, like, on some level, like, you're both very similar, and they both just started laughing at me, and I said, no, I said, listen, right, I said, and then I told them about that, like, I made an image, and one of them was Heggie. It was just a picture of Heggie with his, with the line. Next thing you know, I woke up with a fistful of hair and a dirty shovel. And then you swiped over to it, and it was a picture of Eminem and one of his lyrics, and then it was essentially the same thing, how we woke up covered in blood, motherfucking gloves, and a shovel covered in mud. And, like, the fact that they're both technicians, like wordsmiths kind of things, and they're both 2 people who really show a lot of disdain towards their audience from on stage. And their audience is smart enough to know, like, not to approach them. It's like, okay, this person definitely doesn't seem to want attention. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think there's too many people that can get away with that. Like, I'm not saying that they're the same in Heggie comes from fucking, like, poverty. We all know he went to a private school, but... No, I'm joking. But I'm saying there's a lot of... Like, the way they work, I see a lot of comparisons, like, technically and all that kind of stuff.
I think he's angrier.
Oh yeah, he's definitely angrier. But I just meant, like, technically and all that kind of stuff. And the treatment of the audience and what you can get away with. Like, not many people can get away with that, with being so combative.
Well, you can't. I can't either. Like,
you can. You stand on your tiptoes holding the microphone with one fist about 2 inches above the other fist, rocking back and forth like you're boxing, like you're waiting to fight. It's so funny to me. Like, because it's intimidating.
But people don't like it.
But
it's not like
you
it's
kill. Like,
universally loved or anything.
You could shut down a heckler with a death stare. Like, with nothing.
I'd like to shut them down by putting the stand in their fucking face before that.
What about you, Steph? How do you like to put down hecklers?
Oh, I'm grateful for a heckler. It fills the silence,
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Fair enough.
Sometimes
Really?
that's the only thing they'll laugh at is me telling a guy that I hate him and his dick's small, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I hate that they like that though. I
So
resent
do I,
them. Even if
but
it goes well, I
I'm
resent them
dying.
so much for liking something that's not stand up. I can't stand them.
Oh, well, you know what? Like, you'll love this. Then last night, I did a spot, and like it went well. Like, you know, the first 9.5 minutes went well, and then it got to the end, and like I'm putting that reaction in the video, Steph, and told my final joke, and the last laugh just didn't get what I wanted, and I didn't have anything quick left to cover it. And then someone in the audience who'd been a dick all night, like, fine, I said, I got to get out of here soon, and he immediately started clapping, like, way before, you know what I mean? And I just looked at him and I said, "Oh, are you Michael?" And everyone just started applauding, and I just went, "All right, thank you, good night." Like, because it was just like, I didn't have to fish for a laugh, or, you know what I mean? Like, it was just...
Oh, this Michael that identified himself earlier as a dickhead.
Oh, he'd been a cock all night. Like, everyone knew him. Yeah, like, everyone knew all about him. Yeah. And it was just... Like, I could have got off on the... I could have told another joke, but it would have taken too much time, you know. But I just got that easy out, which wasn't comedy. It was just me going, "Oh, you Michael."
Well, I think Michael's got 23 relatives on the sunny coast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, right. They're different gigs up there.
Yeah.
Should we call it? Sorry, my stuff's gonna run out.
Yeah, that's cool. I gotta walk the dog anyway.
Sorry.
And I guess Heggie's
What do
gonna
we
do
call-
some stuff in Paris.
And Heggie's giving us a lot
So
of his
yeah,
time.
thanks for being our first guest, Heggie. I'm glad you hated the show.
Yeah.
I wish it was something
Not one
even
redeeming
worse, though.
characteristic of any of the people on this show.
That's
Not
good.
one.
That's what we wanted from you.
The worst. They
Yeah,
all
but-
suck.
Yeah. All right.
I'd rather have my worst enemy bottle his farts and send them to me express, and I open them up one by one, than have anything to do with these people or watch more of this show.
I'm gonna finish it. I'm kidding. Anyway.
You suck.
All right. Don't watch it, please. Even if you're desperate, there's other better real estate shows that are worse to watch than that garbage. All right. Well, thanks for
Steph's
listening to
cutting
the
out.
episode, and thanks for joining us, Heggie. And we'll catch you on next time on episode 26.
Yeah, righto. Thanks for having me. Cop you later.
Bye.